Welcome back, everyone, for Marketing Mondays. We are continuing our social media series this week with our third episode. Today, we will talk a little bit about partnerships and collaborations for social media. And my name is Kara. I'll be your host today. My co-host is PJ, and he will be monitoring our chat for us. So catch up with him in the chat if you have any questions or comments throughout.
Thank you.
So let's take a quick look at today's blueprint. We are going to try to keep it short and sweet for you, but touch on some interesting and helpful topics. So in rural development, partnerships can really play a big role in fostering growth and sustainability. So we're going to delve into the significance of forging relationships and discovering collaborators to really help amplify your impact. We will touch briefly, take a quick look at micro-influencer partnerships and how to consider a vetting process for micro-influencers or other potential partners, as well as navigate through leveraging your resources effectively. We also want to leave you with some small efforts that you can take with you to make a big impact. So, overcoming challenges and optimizing limited resources will really be at the forefront of our discussion today, alongside various types of ideas for collaborative marketing campaigns. And so, to equip you as well for immediate action, we will also provide you at the end with some practical and easy to implement tips. And then, as always, at the end, we will have a short discussion and Q&A. So again, be sure to keep up with PJ in the chat. All right, so let's start off by looking into the importance of partnerships or social media partnerships in particular in rural areas. So we can see many advantages here as we start to look at these. Partnerships can really offer mutual benefits. So they're allowing individuals or groups to really leverage each other's strengths for collective growth. And so by joining forces together, organizations can really work to surpass any kind of issues like geographical barriers or audience limitations that you might be experiencing. And so this helps with expanding your reach and expanding your exposure. And then partnerships can also help to facilitate the sharing of individual expertise. And so this really enables your marketing to be more directed at niche segments, as we discussed in last week's Marketing Monday session on market segmentation. And then this in turn leads to a more enhanced brand credibility. And then notably as well, collaborations have proven to have many budget-friendly options as well. So this will help to maximize your ROI while also impacting your rural initiatives. Now, on this slide, we are really taking a look at some essential strategies for locating and discovering partners and collaborators for our rural development initiatives. So if we're wondering, where are we finding these partners? Where are we going to find these people? So one of the best places to start here is community networking. This really serves as a cornerstone. For instance, engaging with groups, much like you are with Uplift, with all of us here. Visit and see your local TDAs, your DLOs, regional tourism associations. Also engaging and communicating with other sub-brands such as Outdoor NC or Retire NC. These communications can really help to unearth many valuable connections here. Online platforms also offer another avenue. So connecting potential collaborators through digital channels such as social media, in particular LinkedIn and more. And then also attending local events or gatherings in your area. This provides an opportunity for that organic networking, that organic relationship building. And then additionally, industry associations may help find very like-minded partners as well. And so we can always consider here referrals and recommendations from trusted sources as well. And then finally, really forging our local media partnerships. So whether that be through traditional methods or digital methods, this can help to amplify our engagement within our community, as well as, furthering our exposure. Now, let's take just a quick look at micro influencers, and identifying the right ones, considering who they are, and potential methods for vetting partnerships. So, micro influencers are useful, and they're individuals that are on social media that have smaller followings than macro influencers. So micro influencers might have anywhere from like 1,000 to 10,000 followers. So they usually have a small following, but they're beneficial because they usually have a very highly engaged audience with a specific niche or a specific community. And so this connection with their audience and their establishment of a particular niche segment really sets them apart, and it really makes them a good contender for your partnerships. But there's millions of micro influencers. So how do we even begin to find the right one? Well, the best place to start when identifying micro influencers is to look at our own audience, look at our own organizations and our own brand. So once our brand is defined and established, it's going to be easier to begin researching because we begin to look at areas of interest that align with our own goals. And so also here, it's really important that we consider when we're looking through potential partners that we're looking for a partner whose content is relevant to our own. Especially in the tourism industry, it's a good idea here to prioritize micro influencers that have any ties to our local regions or our local communities as well. And so this will really help to enhance your authenticity and your engagement. And so maybe we have to spend a little bit of time on social media, sifting through accounts, or as we just talked about, reaching out for referrals as well. And then establishing and documenting a vetting process will also really help with streamlining our partner or our influencer selection. So ensuring that we have that really strategic alignment that we want between our project goals, but also our company values. We want to make sure that's there. And then creating documented negotiations as well to share with any future influencers is also a good idea because it's really going to help establish clear expectations and protect both parties' interests, as well as ensure full transparency throughout the entire collaboration process. Let's go back. All right. Now that we have touched a little bit on micro influencers and partnerships, let's take a quick look into overcoming some challenges and also overcoming limited resources. So sometimes we might wonder, how do we partner or how do we collaborate without a large marketing budget? And so there have to be some sort of practical solutions here to overcoming limitations. So one approach here is that we offer value instead of monetary compensation. So we work to leverage your unique strengths or your resources to create a mutually beneficial relationship or mutually beneficial arrangements. And then additionally, another way that we can overcome a challenge here is to look at our own social media accounts and start to refine our own brands and our own marketing strategies. You can work to be consistent this way and grow, which will demonstrate the benefits of partnering with you. So we're making our own brand enticing. So by making keeping up with your content calendar, keeping your consistency in your content, keeping up-to-date information on your pages, you're really enhancing your own appeal for potential collaborators. And then co-creating content together as well, it really helps to align both audiences' interests. So both your interest and both your audience interests and your partner's audience interests, whether it's through posts, blogs, in-person events. This is going to help foster an organic engagement, and also you're really prioritizing those with local ties that can yield great partnerships. And then finally, we don't want to discount creative bartering or mutually beneficial arrangements. These are good. They allow resource collaboration. So for example, if you have a restaurant business, create a trade of a nice dining experience in exchange for 2 social media posts and a video, or an overnight stay for an influencer's vlog of the trip. So things like this, we're working to trade services for content. Now let's take a quick look at some different types of collaborative campaigns for tourism, or for the tourism industry in particular. And there's many more, so these are just a few examples I'm going to go through. And if you have any more you'd like to share or talk about, we would love to hear those as well. Each of these are offering, though, unique opportunities to really showcase your destination and then further your audience, your growth, and your impact. And so, as we briefly touched on a minute ago, the local influencer travel, this is great. These experiences are great because the influencer really works to immerse your audience in authentic but also feasible and relatable trips of the rural area. This also works to really leverage that trusted voice of the influencer while they're showcasing your destination from a local perspective. We also have destination discovery campaigns. So this is really working to create a sense of like wanderlust with your destination. And so we're working to strategically plan and highlight the hidden gems and the unique attractions of the particular location or of your services. And then community relations and community storytelling initiatives are always great here. That's kind of like that low-hanging fruit that you can work with if you've already developed some community relations and storytelling. And we also have a great Marketing Monday session on that you can catch up on our YouTube channel. But this can help to really forge great partnerships and tell the story and the narratives of your destination. And then virtual tours and experiences. These offer some immersive and accessible ways to showcase your destinations. And then these could also be not necessarily just in person, but on your website using social media reels and so forth. And then finally, we always like to keep in mind sustainable tourism efforts as well. So considering those eco-friendly tourism collaborations are really great. This will help to promote responsible travel practices while also encouraging travelers to really experience your destinations or businesses in a way to minimize their ecological footprint, but also support your local community. Okay, now that we're getting towards the end here, so let's look at just a few practical and easy to implement tips for getting started in your partner initiatives. Now, a great place to start is really to just simply begin by identifying your local partners and leveraging your already established connections to really kickstart those collaborations. So just write them down or type them out. So start identifying, and then consider something as simple as scheduling a coffee date with a partner that you've identified. This could be just an informal meeting where you can get together and really just start brainstorming ideas or brainstorming potential opportunities for partnerships. We want to go ahead and make a commitment to strengthen our own online presence and maintain consistency in our own messaging and our own engagement and posts. Because as we talked about earlier, having that well-established platform of your own will really help you to be identified as a strong and mutually beneficial partner. So when it comes to browsing or selecting through micro influencers, or through others in the community, when they go to look at your page, then it's more enticing to them to want to partner with you. Now, partnerships can also sometimes be very timely and very complex. So maybe you're not at the steps where you're ready to reach out to micro influencers or you're ready for a big partnership. But we can utilize some very simple steps to get started, such as smaller promotions on social media, working with others to just utilize something like a shared hashtag, or working with others to share each other's content on a weekly basis. This is a great place to start collaborating. We can also consider, as we host local events, that we can include potential collaborators or potential partners that we know here to help bring our audiences together and grow. We can also start by beginning to document our partnership processes. So, such as something as simple as starting to create that guideline documentation, your vetting processes to ensure clarity and accountability. And then finally, we can also work to create some value-driven proposals that really highlight the mutual benefits and the values of collaborations. So just taking some small steps like this to get started can really help to lay the groundwork for bigger and future potential partnerships. All right, so as we conclude our Marketing Monday session today, let's just look at a few key takeaways. So, we're really emphasizing today that partnerships can become lifelines for rural initiatives and development due to their ability to really provide that essential support, resources, and opportunities that might otherwise be lacking in your marketing strategies. They can also help facilitate access to more resources, more funding, more expertise, more networking. So they're really great in that sense. And the next, strategic discovery and identification of the right partners is very, very important. So we want to make sure when we are identifying and selecting partners that we're aligning our partners and collaborations with our own goals, with our own mission, values, brand identity, audience, and more. So we get that strategic alignment. And then harnessing the power of micro influencers is great because it really empowers us to amplify our message and to reach our engaged niche segments that we have identified as well. We will remember here that resource collaboration really maximizes our impact. So by leveraging our collective strengths of both parties, and we are really working to optimize our limited resources. And then as we move forward in our partnerships, let's also remember the practical starting steps that we've outlined today. So, really considering drawing on that low hanging fruit and the connections that we already have, just a simple cup of coffee to start thinking of more ideas. And we'll also share these slides with you on our YouTube channel and in our Knowledge Center, so we can get started on making some impactful and sustainable rural initiatives through strategic partnerships. So this concludes our presentation today.